Hello and welcome to the future of senior caregiving, embracing positivity and cultural sensitivity. We are going to be talking today about families and how to be prepared for the what if or the when. There's so many ways that families can be organized in that they can have support and not have to do everything by themselves. And so we have identified several areas where families can not be in the position where they have to ask for help all the time, but be proactive and actually, maybe have a meeting or communicate about things that are needed ahead of time. Anna, what would you like to share?
So we are actually talking about designated people that will be able to contact in cases of emergencies. And like you did say, we are always reactive. We're not usually proactive. We usually go out and find services or try to make everything work if mom fell last night, or if dad left the house and wandered down the street, or if we're not even getting enough sleep and we're very sick, to take care of them. So in order to, be prepared for these situations, in order to go through this caregiving journey, there has to be a few key things that we need to discuss, not only as family members, but with friends and within our network, to a designated person that will keep tabs not only on our health, but our physical, mental, and spiritual well-being.
Yes, yes, yes. It's amazing how nowadays it's very important to have a community of people, as Anna said, neighbors and friends and people that care about you involved in the caregiver journey. I came from a single family household, and there were five of us. And now when I think back, I think, oh my goodness, how my mother took care of everything. And when it was time for us to caregive, it was just like pulling teeth to get everyone organized and on the same page. So it's amazing how one woman can take care of five kids, but five kids can't take care of one woman. And so we are focused today on some areas that might need to have a primary, a secondary, somebody to come in and help out with some of these tasks that the journey is the best it can be. Anna?
And when we have emergency contacts, someone that you can tap into that knows all about your healthcare, will know what your wishes are and where you would want to go for hospital-wise healthcare, rehab, and also your preferences for food at home.
There you go.
How do you want your legs positioned, in a way that it will stop the swelling? A lot of those nuances are usually done by someone who is a primary caregiver, and it's most likely someone that was within the family. A lot of this falls to the family. That is someone that's available, adult daughter or adult son, that is available to take care of the aging loved one or parent. But in cases where you are alone, and even for families too, there's something called the POLST form, POLST. The POLST form is the physician's order for life-sustaining treatment, and every state has a POLST form. This is where you can write down your contact information, your date of birth, the meds that you have, also your wishes to be resuscitated or not. There's a DNR order on that. And your physician is involved, the palliative care team is involved, your family is involved, and also the hospice. This is for end-of-life sustaining treatment, and left in an area where, emergency personnel can see, whether it's the refrigerator or in a drawer by the bedside or a cabinet where someone has access to it.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? I don't, maybe that same person could also be, helpful with the medical appointments. And so that's our next segment, is just, you know, there's so many medical appointments as you're aging. I mean, you're being cared for by, you know, geriatricians, senior clinic, various places. And so, you know, having a designated person to be able to oversee that area, things have advanced quite a bit now, and there's a lot more electronic records going on. Could you share a little bit about that, Anna?
And I think with technology and
Yeah,
aging today, technology plays a vital role in our own lives.
yeah,
Everything that we touch now has some sort of technology device, monitoring, tracking, and healthcare systems are also now using a lot of technology. You see a lot more nurses charting and putting stuff into the computer than they are by the bedside. But that's for a different story for a different time. But all your healthcare information are usually accessible through a portal. Healthcare now uses these portals to communicate with you and your loved one or your designated primary caregiver. And even on that, through that portal, there's always information that is released to a designated person. Being proactive about this and keeping those charts updated. And of course, if you're going in and out of medical appointments,
yes.
there's always an update. Sign here, make sure this is correct, the phone number, your address, and everything. So technology is a huge part of our lives, and tapping into that not only to track our appointments, but also communicate with the healthcare professionals is a plus now, and having someone who's technology savvy will be able to get you through this too.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, if there's an emergency, the first thing they want to know is, when's the last time you had this done, and when was this done last? And so, yeah, this is just vital that there is a point person that can get those records. So our next topic is respite care. And understand, oh my goodness, how burnout comes when you're just added, and you don't even take the time to take care of yourself. I believe that's when they say you put the mask on first. And so having a calendar or a set time where you can have short breaks to be able to get away and take care of yourself. And so it's important that is already in place, so you can look forward to having that time to do what you need to do. So I know that we have professional people that can come in and give you a break, just making sure that there's a name and there's a number and there's a date and a time where you can look forward to having your time.
And that's huge, because not only within your informal circles, I think we talked about earlier, just having someone sit with your granny while you went out and did things on your own. There's errands to be done, your own medical appointments to be done, and even taking that breath of fresh air out. Respite care is not only provided by your own network of friends and families, but also provided by other resources in the community. There's the adult day programs that has a lot of activities where you can leave your loved one there for maybe 4 or 5 hours. Those 4 or 5 hours a day or every other day is huge. How can you get away with 4 to 5 hours and do what needs to be done for you besides take a nap and sleep, because you need to unplug and sort of recharge? I think the part for this is you as a caregiver need to be able to recharge in order to better take care of your aging loved one or friend.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just thinking about one particular guy said that his wife liked to go for rides, like, driving Miss Daisy. And that was his respite time. And it also gave her an emotional well-being of just sitting in the car and looking out the window. So people can be as creative as they want to when it comes to creative respite time for them and for the person they're caring for.
And I think it's quality of life. When we talk about quality of life, it's quality of life not only for the caregiver,
Yeah.
but it's also for the care receiver.
Yes.
there's, even that car ride in and of itself is huge. You've taken her out of the home and she gets to look at the world outside of her bedroom or her bedroom windows or her living room windows. And it's very different from being inside, taking a car ride, out there.
Yeah, that sounds good, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Yes.
Yeah, so, let's see, we have, financial support. And I'm thinking of this in terms of, finances can be a big thing. You've got all kinds of mail coming in, you've got obligations, you've got bills, you've got insurance, budgeting. There's just a lot that goes on with that. And to have, a spreadsheet or just to have some help with some of that it doesn't take up your whole day. And so certainly it would be somebody that you trust, but if you could identify someone, it would just be a real big load off of you and something that you could not, that would not take up your whole time. And of course, if there's no one to help you, there are outside services.
And I think we want to talk about what it means to have your legal affairs in order. And finances is part of that legal affair. If you have assets that you want to be able to document in a living trust or living will, and also healthcare with the end of life care, the healthcare directives. A lot of these forms are accessible online. You can actually access them via, a Google search or the AARP has, forms that you can download and complete yourselves and put in a designated file or folder where someone who knows what to do at the end there will be able to read and, carry out your wishes. And legal help is always available. Fiduciaries out there to help with families that have these assets or these finances that they can keep track of. If you don't want your family member to be a part of this, or, it's always family that gets to step in to navigate, negotiate, and also keep up to date with all the finances that you have to deal with.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Let's see, we have emotional and social well-being support. And we know that this is huge when it comes to reducing isolation and depression. And having an older adult at home, of course, they have friends and maybe clubs or church or those kind of activities, and you want to be able to keep them connected to that. And so just making sure that there's a time set aside where people can come and go and visit. I know a couple elders that people would bring food by and sing and, whatever that is, make sure that these things continue, because again, this is definitely quality of life. And, I remember a companionship service that they have. That's how vital this is that they have programs that make sure that seniors aren't just, isolated and just not actively involved. And so these are things that you have to take time for. That's why we're mentioning it. It has to be organized and planned as well.
And I think there's technology. We have different platforms that allows for video calls. There's video calls through Messenger, Google Meets, Zoom, like we're doing right now. But what if you set aside a time to meet with your loved one who may or may not be, in the same city as you are, or if you're so tied up, there's a certain time during the week that you could tap into them or, touch base with them and saying, just how are you doing? And, coordinating these calls or these platform calls, they're video calls to be able to see each other. You won't know how that person is doing unless you really see them. So technology is a huge part of this, and there's all kinds of platforms out there that allows for any of this, and even virtual reality, platforms too, where you can
Okay, sure.
explore the world. There's different things that you can use to reduce isolation and
Yes,
depression.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Thanks for mentioning some of those platforms, because there are a lot of platforms that, the iPad, and you know what I mean, all of those things. So yeah, thanks for mentioning that. So the last one that we have is having a handy person. I don't, I'd call them a carpenter or something, but they might even be called a jack of all trades. But somebody needs to come and make sure that the house is safe. And so, whether that's on the outside perimeter of the house, making sure that everything is safe. And with the changing of the seasons, there might be things that need to be done, to the doors, the windows, the roof, those things need to be looked at inside, looking at the wiring, the doors being the locks on the doors, the grab bars. There's just so many things. The lighting, you don't think about because you're so involved in care, but someone that has the mindset of a handy person will be conscious of those things. And those things are important in order to keep your loved ones safe and at home. And so having a maintenance guy that would do the overall home maintenance is vital.
Yes, and I think what we're trying to do is not only make this a safe environment for you, but also for your loved one or for the person that you are reaching out to. Walk into the homes, you see rugs that are strewn around the house. These are trip hazards, fall hazards. We're trying to prevent falls. One fall leads to many falls, and many falls leads to a chronic diagnosis that just becomes worse over time. So we want to be able to prepare our homes to be safe, clean, and also having that designated person that will allow us to continue living in our homes
Yes.
and continuing have a quality of life, a certain quality of life. And all these key points that we brought up with emergency, medical, the respite care, finances, emotional support, and socialization, and even preparing the house ADA, to be able to have you age in place. And we
Yeah.
thank you for joining us today in this segment about identifying our support systems and the resources that we could tap into. Please click on the link below to schedule a call with us. We would be happy to share anything and everything with you. This is the channel for caregiving now for seniors and into the future,
Yes.
embracing positivity and cultural sensitivity. My name is Anna Jones and Dorothea Harris.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.